Yo, what you know, it's your boy One Hero back today with 3 things that I personally love about Ghost of Tsushima. Now look, I'm a guy that's always wanted to be a samurai, and I enjoyed my ride from the PS4 to the PS5. But if I had to be truthful, Sucker Punch, look me in my eyes. I'm gonna need that Ghost of Tsushima 2, like right now in my life. Okay, now let's fly. Number one is gonna have to be the beauty of the world of Tsushima Island. They did a fantastic job with bringing to life Tsushima Island, from the beautiful fields to the forest to every little detail they could think of, from the wind to the animals to petting the foxes to all of the different shrines, the locations of the swords, and all of those things. Like, you play the game and you're literally just drawn in by the beauty of it all. And I found myself sitting there time after time again, taking photos, trying to make cinematic cuts and shoots and scenes as I just played through the game along the way, or just sometimes cutting on the game and just wanting to ride through the world of Tsushima because it was just that beautiful. They did a great job with establishing a beautiful world for you to just take advantage of, because there are games out there we've encountered that kind of didn't have that best of world. They had the great intention, great gameplay mechanics and all of that. When you can add in a beautiful world such as something like this, then you really have something on your hands here. And Tsushima, Sucker Punch, they knocked it out of the park when it came to Tsushima Island, for sure. And then on top of that, with Iki Island was just as good, if not better, with some of its locales and details they added in with the director's cut being released. If you have not already played Ghost of Tsushima, I implore you to do so, please. Now, before we move on to the next one, now we got to talk about them graphics, baby, because let me tell you this. The way that they switched up to that 60 FPS, oh yes, it was one of the best, no less, no stress. Oh yes, I was all for it. It made the combat look that much better. I'm already sitting there like, how much better can it truly get? And they said, see this beer? You hold this. And then they came back out swinging, and it just was a beautiful graphical update to go from that 30 frames per second we were locked into when it came to the PS4 for all of those years to now being able to be at 60 frames per second. Man, it was such a beautiful difference, and the switch up and the change, and then the graphical update and details just made the Tsushima, already as a more beautiful world, that much better. So yes, again, well done job there, and I really loved everything they did when it came to the beauty of the world and the graphics of Tsushima. Number two is gonna have to be that combat and the gameplay, man, because look, I wanted it to be like a ninja thing. I understand that in the story, it was about Jin happened to go from being a traditional samurai to fighting by any means necessary. And he did adopt some of the shinobi-esque things that he could put into his kit as being a samurai on one end, but also being the ghost of Tsushima. Man, look, the difference in that was dope, and also having the different sword styles and combat styles you could use when it came to who you were going against as enemies was also really dope as well. And then being able to upgrade and kind of craft out the style you wanted to play, whether you were a person that likes to use a lot of utilities, the smoke bombs, the ninja stars, the blow dart, all of those things, or if you wanted to focus on only just being a samurai with your sword and tearing everything through however you wanted to. So some missions did require for you to have to go through the gameplay of the shinobi side of things, but again, just having that tied into the story of fighting against your honor, but understanding that the barbarians and the mongrels were like all about, we're gonna win by any means necessary, so you either break the rules or we break you, fool. In between me and you, I was out there using them shinobi tools, okay? And being the samurai on the side, you know, we gotta make it fly and do what we gotta do, because, you know, I'm trying to be that guy. Jin was out there handling business, okay? Lord is my witness, but I had to find a way for the uncle to give me some forgiveness. And number three is going to be the biggest point for me, the immersion. Not the story, the immersion. Again, I talked about it earlier with the open world of it, right? So you're now going through these side quests, all of these different side missions, you're discovering shrines, fox shrines, you're finding out about the different legendary arts and mystic arts in the game. You have to go and duel people for these abilities. Like, they had so much more going on besides just the main story, that actually some of the side stories and side content immerse you even more in the world. You interact with NPCs and they're like, hey, Lord Sakai, and you're like, oh my god, like, they're calling me Lord Sakai, they know who I am. And I would find myself at times bowing to them, or kind of like getting immersed into that, or playing the flute and the music. You got to learn about different haikus, playing different music and flutes. Oh my god, there was so much more to do than just playing the game. And it was one of the actual few open world games that made me want to actually play through everything the game had to offer. whether it was chasing down bandits, avenging somebody's murder, or just finding different swords and all of the different outfits and pieces you could find throughout the game. And then a little bonus, if you will, if you had friends that you could play with, the online Tsushima Ghost Legends mode was fire. You had 4-player co-op, you had 2-player co-op, and you also had raids where you could go through with your high level gear, samurai, from the Ronin to the samurai, and different other fighting styles, and play through that game to go through a lot of the different boss battles that they had set up online as well. I didn't get a chance to get further into it. I kind of always stuck to playing the 2-player co-op mode or the 4-player co-op mode. Well done. But again, it was such a dope game overall, from adding that in as free-to-play content later on down the line after buying the game as well. Chef's kiss, genius idea. In the conclusion, there should be zero confusion on what you should be doing next. That is going to pick up Ghost of Tsushima and playing a wonderful game. The director's cut should be on sale. If not, it's full price now on PC, so there should be zero excuse for you not being able to play Ghost of Tsushima unless you're Team Xbox. I'm sorry, man. I ain't getting into that battle. Don't bring me into that. You can go ahead and skedaddle, or I'll find somebody with a paddle. But yeah, Ghost of Tsushima is actually one of my top 5 games of all time. Probably up there like in the top 3, to be honest, because I enjoyed it that much. So I hope that you go out there and you play it as well. If you got anything you changed, anything that you liked, drop it in the comments and let me know, and let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. But again, seriously, sucker punch. I'm gonna need Ghost of Tsushima 2 like at my door real soon. Maybe around noon, maybe 1, maybe even 2. I don't really care. But don't make me come find you. We'll have a conversation. We'll talk about it. That's about it. That's about it. And remember, be great, be you, fly easy, heroes. Till next time. Peace.